Hello YouTube, my name is Freeman Achi. It's always beautiful to be back. See all of your smiling faces. Wow. Well, just for the record, I want you guys to know that your positive feedback has been the reason why this channel has been up and running. To know that this little thing I do here is helping you guys stepping up your photography game, it is really so much. And I want to thank you for all of the positive feedbacks I've been getting. A lot of you guys have been sending me a lot of DMs and all of that, telling me how much this whole thing is helping you, and I just want to keep doing that for you. And if you are new to this channel, I want you to consider subscribing, because on this channel we talk about photography, extensively about photography. This it's a continuation of the tutorial we started a couple of weeks ago, where I did an extensive video. Man, that video was long. I don't think I've done that kind of a video on this channel before, but I saw the need to make that video because I realized that it was a very big challenge for you guys. People know the whole step of frequency separation. They know how to do the whole frequency separation, low frequency separation thing and all of that, but they don't really understand why they don't get the same result as other professionals do. It is really, that video is really a masterpiece. I want you to go see that video, because this is just a continuation of what we did a couple of weeks ago. Today we're going to be doing color grading. We're going to be color grading the photograph. Color grading is a very important part of photography. It's something you cannot do without. This is what makes your photograph stand out. I always tell people all the time that photography, it's just like 10% snapping. Anybody can take photographs with their phone, but what makes that photograph to stand out is the editing. How you can take that photograph and transform that photograph is what makes you a professional. That somebody can look at that photograph and go like, wow, this is beautiful. That is what makes you a professional photographer. The person is not appreciating the seconds it took you to hit the shutter button, but what the person is appreciating is the abstract in the image, is the color grade in the image. So that is what we're going to do today. We're going to transform this photograph right here. We're going to make this photograph beautiful. I'm going to show you how I transform this photograph from this to this, and I want you to pay good attention to this video. I don't want you to downplay on this one, because it is really gonna help you step up your photography. Again, whenever you see my eyes go like that, know that I'm serious. Don't worry, it's gonna be fun. There's no big deal about it. Now let's do it together. All right. Just so you know, today it's gonna be less talk and more work. So you might not be hearing my voices that much all through the video. So do bear with me. Thank you. All right, so now let's do it. All right, let's get into it. Okay, I think first of all, what I'm going to do for this image, I'm going to turn down the exposure a little bit. Let's see, but this level should be all right. Okay. It's fine. Okay, now another thing I'm gonna do for this video, I'm going to bring out the highlights. The image it's almost flat at this point, so what I'm going to do next is to bring out the highlights on this image right now. So I'm going to go to my max and go to curves. Then I'm going to increase my curves a little bit. Okay, say okay. I'm going to select the mask and hold down Ctrl I to invert the color, because I want to paint just the areas I want highlighted. So I'm going to go select my brush, select a very soft brush, that will be okay. And then make sure my foreground color is set to black. And then I'm just going to start painting on the areas where I want to be highlighted. Alright. Now when you're color grading your image, make sure you don't get too excited with the tools, because if you get too excited with the tools, you're going to overdo stuff. So when you overdo stuff, it's going to make the whole thing look very artificial, and you don't want that. So keep it as simple as possible. Press Ctrl Z and undo that. Let that sit on a different layer of its own. Now, in the course of this color grading, you're going to notice how I'm going to be stacking up different layers. The reason I have all of this sitting on different layers is because I want to have total control. Same Control I again, things like that. I want to have total control on what is happening at every point in time. So yeah, I have this one sitting on a different layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit, because we don't want it to be too much. Right, next thing I'm going to do is bring bring out the highlights in places where I really want it to be. Next thing I'm going to do is bond the areas where I want to be bond. This is what I'm doing is called dodge and bond. So what we just finished doing is the dodging. Now we're going to bond. So bonding, we're going to be bonding those shadows, make them pop, bringing the bonds into the areas where we want it to be seen. So we did the same thing. I'm selecting the mask. I've inverted the mask, so that I can, with my brush selected, I can just paint to the areas where I want. Reduce my brush stroke right there, paint to this area, paint through these areas too. And the essence for this dodge and bond, once you start bringing in shadows into your work, shadow gives your work direction, it gives it definition. So this is very, 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 very important. All right, I think I like it. So this is what we have done so far. Look at how that shadow just take your face to the image. I think I've painted areas where I don't want to, so I'm going to invert that to white. My brush selected, I'm just going to move it. Some of those areas where I don't want to appear. Alright, I think about this fine. I'm still going to, let me still add a little bit of highlights on that nose. Still going to invert the color again. And just paint, take my foreground color back to black. To review, alright, I like that. It's beautiful. Okay. Wow, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Good. Just gonna reduce the opacity a little bit. It's about that, it's fine. Alright, next thing we're gonna do, we're going to go to the makeup. And then in this, I'm going to select the main layer, zoom in closely so that you can see what we're doing. I'm just going to select the makeup now. Okay, I'll hold down Shift to make another selection of the other eye. Alright, I think I like it there. Alright, I'm going to fade it. Let's say 12. 12 is fine. Control C for copy, Control V for paste. So this is what I did right there. Okay. I'm going to go to my blending option and select soft light. Alright, see how that soft light is bringing out that makeup a little bit more. Good. So I'm going to reduce the opacity because I don't want it to be too much. And I said before and after. Okay. Now the reason why I had to feather my selection is because I don't want it to have all of that sharp corners after making the selection. To start having the sharp corners, it looks unprofessional. So fading it is just going to blend those edges so that it doesn't look like that place was selected, like that area was selected. I'm going to do the same thing with the lips. I'm going to do the same thing with the lips. So right, I'm just going to hold down alternate so that I can deselect part of her teeth, because we don't want our what we're doing to get to the teeth area. Okay, zoom closer so I can. Alright, I'm still going to feather this one. Don't want the sharp edges, just like I said. So Control C, Control V for paste, and then I am just going to say soft light again. Wow, it's beautiful. See how the makeup is already popping. Okay, this is the before, and this is the after. Looks beautiful. Still going to turn down the opacity a little bit. Say 77 is fine. Alright, this is beautiful. Right, we'll go to this area right here, and I'm still going to do the same thing for that area. I'll go down here because I want the two cheeks to be in uniform. I'm still going to feather E12, Control C, Control V. If you're using Mac, it's Command V and Command C for copy, Command V for paste. Right, soft light as usual. Okay, we're just going to reduce that. See, 10 should be fine. Yeah, 10 is okay. See, slight differences. Wow, this is beautiful. Okay, moving on, and then now we're going to go to the teeth. We want to make sure that teeth is popping, it's banging, slang. Alright, I'm still going to do the same thing for the teeth. This time this curve is for the teeth. Remember, we're inverting the colors by holding down Ctrl I, selecting our brush tool, reduce size of our brush, just going to paint around that area. Alright, now remember, the trick is to make it believable, not to make it too artificial. The goal is to make it believable, so always have that in mind when you're color grading. Okay, I'm going to go to vibrance, and I'm going to reduce the vibrance a little bit, take down the saturation also a little bit, and then clicking the mask, we're going to press Ctrl I to invert that color. Remember, we are still working on her teeth. Okay, zoom in closer again. Remember, we're still working on the teeth. Okay. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but I think we've painted areas where we don't want. So I'm going to change my foreground color to white by pressing X on my keyboard. And just reducing the size of my brush, I'm just going to paint those areas where I have mistakenly painted unknowingly. Just gonna go back and just paint those areas right there. This area, this area, to this area right here, to this area. Yeah, I think this is beautiful. It's still going to reduce the opacity a little bit. Remember, the goal is to make it believable, not artificial. Right about there, it's fine. Okay, now let's start the color grading. First of all, I'm going to add a little bit of red. I'll go to my selective color, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that orange and red. Take down my blacks to at least +4 to get my dodge and burn well highlighted. Okay, and I'm still going to reduce my opacity a little bit more. Alright, moving on. Let's go to the next. Okay, next we're gonna go to our channel mixer. We're just gonna take down that right a little bit to give it. Okay. Whoa. Down the entire exposure a little bit. Okay. Alright, now we're gonna turn down the opacity a little bit. We don't want it too much. Okay, yeah, very subtle one, very much. Moving on. Go to color lookup table. Select the bleach bypass right there. Turn down the bleach bypass a little bit. Take it down. Don't get too excited when you're using all of this stuff. The goal is not to make it to your own taste, but to make it realistic and believable. Okay, moving on. Go back to our color lookup table, and I'm just gonna select another. Okay. At the amber, just turn down the one a little bit more. Okay, photograph is coming out live. Okay, moving on. I'm going to create an empty layer right there, and then that's this color. Alright, please just follow along. What I just did there, just autofill this blank layer I just created on top of this image with white. And what I want to do is I want to go to my blending option and use the saturation button. Fix the whole thing to black and white, and just take the whole saturation down a little bit. It's about there. It's fine. Okay, now moving on. Go back to new layer, fill it. Okay, this time around we use the multiply. Let's turn down the opacity also a little bit down. Okay, we're gonna hold Ctrl Shift Alternate E to snap all the adjustment, all the layers in one. And then we're going to go to filter. We're going to go to camera raw filter, and alright, this is our camera raw filter. We're going to just add our clarity a little bit to bring out the details. Take down our blacks, down, increase our whites a little bit because we want the image to pop. Take down the shadows a little bit and increase the highlights. Alright, and then let's go to the colors. to camera calibration, and then just calibrate the colors a little bit more. Okay, about there, it's fine. I'm gonna go back to our tone curves. Just take that light a little bit up, take the lights a little bit up, take the darks down a little bit, no, say +3, take the shadows down to -3. It's okay, I think it's fine. Now we're going to move to a split toning just to color grade this image further. We're going to hold down alternate so that we see different colors as we take our cursor right there. Okay, here it's fine, so we're going to add some of that saturation of the orange onto it a little bit. Yeah, like that. It's beautiful. We're going to do the same thing for the shadows, but for the shadows, okay. That's beautiful. We're going to increase the exposure a little bit. Okay, about that, fine. Whoa, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. It's beautiful. Alright, I'm just going to show you a little before and after that we did. A little before and after from Photoshop to Camera Raw. So this is the before and after. Look at how much difference that has on the image. Wow, 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 wow. This is beautiful. This is just so beautiful. Okay. Whew. It's just so much beautiful.